What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and I literally do not know what is going on today. Y'all know I don't do too much with political stuff, but we got to talk about this. Like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense.
Person I follow, what is it called? Make It Make Sense. There's a little guy, Make It Make Sense.
I make it make sense. Are you being nice tonight?
To quote a great media outlet, make that make sense. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Make It Make Sense.
Make it make sense. You knew what was up.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Do you want to do this?
That is a man hand. That's a man hand. Hey, the pressure changed to y'all. Only a man knows what a man needs.
What's up, y'all? I know I've not been on much. I have been missing you guys. I've been taking care of business on the back end. Let's start here. I keep trying to warn content creators, you really never know when somebody is watching. And Nikki has 32 million barbs who could be anywhere. You do not want to threaten people. You can dislike this woman. You can hate on her. I've seen so many things about this woman recently. You can do all that. You don't have to like somebody. But literally, you can't actually like threaten them. So listen.
Relax. Or you get put in the blender like your boy did. Hey, Nikki, relax. Or you get put in the blender like your boy did.
Now, I don't know who got put in a blender, but Nicki Minaj tagged Representative Luna and said, this man just publicly threatened me. I've notified the FBI and the CIA. I want this thug locked up, and I'm ready to talk about everything these people have done to me. She says, please text my cell. I will forward this to law enforcement immediately. Threats of violence and unaliving should be taken very seriously. Hope you're okay. We'll talk soon. Then she goes on to say, I can confirm I spoke with Nicki Minaj directly, and we'll be doing everything we can to ensure her safety. We take threats of violence and that type of stuff very seriously. RICO is also illegal. I am deeply concerned that there has been unchecked corruption within certain aspects of the rap industry. Artists should be respected and not afraid of managers, labels, etc. Here's my issue. And it's the same issue I have with, we'll just say, certain large corporations. If you're going to treat me different because I'm an influencer, technically, you know how many threats happen? Are you working on every threat that could happen on the internet? Are you guys taking it just as seriously if it was not Nicki Minaj? Could a normal person in your jurisdiction send you a note that says, I just got threatened on the internet, and you act on it immediately? Not is this Street Fighter Chun-Li. I need to know that anybody can reach out to, what's her name? Representative Luna, and make sure that you get the same type of treatment that Nikki is getting. A threat on the internet. Let me show you. It's not just celebrities. It's not just stars. It's anybody can be threatened on the internet, i.e. this woman. She was unalived at her job. She was a manager at a McDonald's, and one of the employees came in. If everybody cannot tag you and receive something like that to ensure their safety, don't tell me what you're doing for Nikki. Now, I do think that whoever that dude is needs to be, you know, whatever. If it's an actual threat and there are laws against actual threats, then go ahead and do whatever you need to make sure that she's protected. But make sure that if you have other constituents who are in need, you act the same way. Don't give celebrities any special treatment that you wouldn't give a normal person being threatened. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to more foolishness. A wise woman once said, your man might be in a relationship. It's your job to end that. That wise woman was Alicia Keys. And this woman took her class. We all saw this by now.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
Let's watch again.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
The plot thickens because you saw the woman that was like seemingly really embarrassed. That's the vice president of HR. So you have the CEO and the chief of HR, and standing next to you, who's in on it, is the vice president of HR. Now, the smartest person in the room is the VP of HR because she knows everything, and that's probably how she got her new VP job. This is messy. First off, who's still going to Coldplay concerts? No offense, but who is still going to Coldplay concerts? Yes, they are both married with children. Let me show you this. This is actually his wife. This is the mistress. The wife seems much younger. But you know what they say, what you won't do, somebody else will. So she's probably, you know, she's the chief officer of HR. Who knows how she got that job now? This woman could be a brilliant HR strategist, but now the only thing that people are going to be thinking is that she Young Miami'd her way to the top. It is what it is. Both are definitely married. Both knew what they were doing, just like the VP of HR. No, they're both currently still married.
You in the hood now, baby.
You don't have to be in the hood to cheat, but I mean, this is trash. This is a little bit more about him because he actually has an impressive resume. Let's see. Andy Byron is the CEO of Astronomer, a data infrastructure company that builds enterprise orchestration tools on Apache Airflow. Since becoming CEO in July of 2023, so he just made it there 2 years, and you already, unless he brought her with her, we got to do a little bit more research. So you guys know I've been in corporate America. What you will see, especially if there's like an acquisition or if what is it called? It's called a what is the name of that? It's basically like when the company is spending too much money on personnel or they're not bringing in enough money, they will redistribute the workload, cut a lot of people, and in an attempt to either save money or save the company. What is it called? Not a merger. It's what is that word, y'all? It's not a merger. It's a restructure. Thank you. It's a restructure. So I'm wondering now if he brought his mistress over. It's definitely a restructure. I'm wondering if he brought the mistress over. A lot of time, what I've seen personally is if you get a new CFO, like if you get if you get a new CEO, they bring their people with them and then replace the standing VPs. They gotta go. Managers, they gotta go. It's like a trickle down. You know that if you get a new CEO and you have one of somebody he already has that he's bringing over, you're probably going to lose your job. I'm wondering now if this woman came over with him. He's only been there 2 years. Now, if she's been there like 20 years and then, threw her panties at him or he threw her boxes at her within 2 years and they're already like that, I don't know. I do know that he made the company a lot of money. It says including a 93 million Series D that pushed its valuation past the billion mark. I don't know. Byron lives in New York with his wife, Megan, and their 2 children. Megan, an educator at Bancroft School, reportedly removed her last name and deleted her online profile. Let's see the Bancroft School. Let's see how prestigious it is. Let's see. Let's see. It's prestigious in the UK, but what about America? Okay, it's not considered one of the most prestigious schools nationally. One of the most prestigious schools is Dalton, where Jeffrey Epstein used to teach. But we're gonna get into that in a minute. We'll get into that in a minute, y'all. So let's move to his statement. He says, I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy. What was supposed to be a night of music and joyous lovemaking with my mistress turned into a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer, at least the ones I'm not sleeping with. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father, and as a leader. This is not who I want to be or who I want to represent the company I helped build. I am an unfortunate cockhold that enjoys... That's not what this man said. I take it back. I take it back. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps, personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment between my mistress and I deeply became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle as I watched a concert with a failing former top... I take it back. Y'all, this man is about to lose his job. Mark my words. The fact that he's more angry at whoever the lead singer of Coldplay is for calling him out. This is America. He might have a lawsuit. We don't know if their stock is going to plummet because of this. We do know that both have been put on leave. If this man, if this man sues Coldplay, I would not be surprised. I definitely would not be surprised. As a friend once sang, your man might be in a relationship. It's your job to take him. No, he said, as a friend saying, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Does anybody get that reference? He ended his statement to the world. A friend once sang, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. What does that mean? What exactly does that mean? I have no idea. Let me see. So Astronomer came out. We did that one. So they were making out before this. Of course, TMZ would have the photos of them making out. Let me see. Okay, Astronomer says, Astronomer is committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct, sexuality, and accountability. The board of directors has initiated a formal investigation into this matter, and we will have additional details to share very shortly. Alyssa Stoddard was not at the event, and no other employees were in the video. Andy Byron has not put out any statement. Reports saying otherwise are all incorrect. Just FYI, y'all. We don't think that that was really him. Had he wrote that, that would have been funny. Especially that last little part about the lights. Let's see where that's from. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. Let's see where that's from. What if they would have put oh, okay. It's a Coldplay song. Worry about yourself. Company released a statement that was not the VP in the background. The lady is divorced, allegedly. Love on high, sucking on up to the top. Mom Life Beautiful Chaos. Representative Luna is a Trumper. Mac Wop, I think, meant it lyrically. Okay. Technically, I don't even know who the man is. But I do think that people have to be cautious, especially now. People are extremely religious. I low-key am working on something in the back end for content creators. I'll let you guys know. It's like a way to protect yourself. I'll let you guys know when it's like ready. Hopefully there'll be it's a whole thing, but I'm excited. I'll announce it when I can. Teresa Jenkins, Alexa Play, Busted by Rhino Isley. Or I'll Take Your Man by the City Girls. Not Get the Bag. Let's see. Okay. Let's move on. I want to take this off. Okay, here we go. Not this one. Here we go. Okay. Tony Busby releases a statement acknowledging his client's $50 million lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe will be dismissed. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. Steve Jones says, so they just wanted to ruin his reputation. No, they settled. They just didn't want to use the term settled because it doesn't sound great. Like, after all, if you guys don't remember, I'm sure most of you do remember, but this, we need to get to Shannon's response. Here we go.
Transparent and defend myself because this isn't right.
Today, the former NFL star turned podcaster posting this video statement in response to a Nevada civil lawsuit filed by a woman who says her consensual relationship with Sharpe eventually led to multiple assaults. The lawsuit also accuses Sharpe of secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. The plaintiff, listed as Jane Doe, is represented by attorney Tony Busby, who has represented accusers in several high-profile sexual assault cases, and who Sharpe called out by name.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Okay. I've been thinking about this. As soon as I saw they settled, because no lie, guys, I was going to go to Vegas for this court case. I literally was going to go to Vegas for this court case. If they had not had that first hearing when I was in New York, I would have been in Vegas. I would have been in Vegas for the duration of this one. I have so many thoughts, and we have to ask ourselves so many different questions as it applies to this. One being, of course, it's a conversation about consent. But there are people with kinks in this world. And technically, like I always tell you guys, I'm a sex positive person. However you get down is whatever you get down with. But it has to be consensual. Shannon Sharpe, country bumpkin ass, chose a 19-year-old OF model because he wanted to do race play. I was having a conversation with a really, really intelligent friend, and we were kind of like going back and forth about this. And initially what I said was, you need to choose better. It's one thing to have your kinks. It's another thing to have your kinks with somebody who's not trustworthy and is clearly just after a check. The problem is his kink involves young white women. His kink involves race play type activities. So there's never going to be a chance for him to really play out his sexual proclivities with a 40-year-old Latin woman, a 50-year-old black woman. His kink is power dynamics with young, gym-built, moderately attractive women, like this woman at the heart of this lawsuit. He's never going to be able to really truthfully live out that kink if he chooses, a woman his own age, white, black, Polynesian, whatever. He's not going to go for a 50-year-old woman. His kink is this daddy, allegedly. I don't sue me, Shannon, but from the exterior of it, you let us know who this girl is. The girl was 19 years old. The girl was an OnlyFans model. And based on you letting us into your bedroom, you let us in your bedroom. We did not want an invite there. From the lawsuit to your very convenient Roe ad. Roe being the, if you can't get it up, pop one of these pills type situations. You played audio, allegedly, of you getting it in with somebody, allegedly. I think it was all for the ad. but you set the sexual scene. You set the scene for this. Nobody was thinking of you in the sexual way outside of, you know, I don't even want to say that name because I don't want to get in trouble. Every time I mention Shannon, I'm not even trying to get in trouble. Nothing. Scratch that off the record. Scratch that off the record. Scratch it. No. We're not doing that. I take it back. Nobody wanted to know. You brought this up. Then I don't know if what the psychology behind that was. I'm pretty sure he got a nice check from Roe, but if we go back to the lawsuits that we were reviewing, it seems like part of the kink isn't just the big black man and the big black mandingo gravy batter, or put them big black babies in me, or it wasn't just that. They said that one of the women he was allegedly going after, it was this one, the one who sued him. She didn't really know who he was, and he was upset about that. His expectation was that she was supposed to come up to him. So part of the kink is the young, the white, the facially challenged. That's part of it. The other part is he wants the world to know that he still has some sexual prowess. You set yourself up for the okie doke.
That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Also new today, Jane Doe's attorney releasing an audio clip alleging it shows Sharpe threatening the plaintiff.
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
The plaintiff says, "Don't manipulate me." Then Sharpe allegedly responds,
"Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you."
NBC News has not independently verified the audio's authenticity. It's also not clear if this excerpt was part of a longer conversation. We asked Shannon Sharpe's attorney about the recording late today.
He is acknowledging this is a recording of him, but that it's being taken out of context.
The legal team is telling me that we can't authenticate it if he said that, and he's not denying it. This is his statement that he did not mean it. It was in the heat of the moment in the middle of an argument.
Sharpe's attorney Lanny Davis also says the Hall of Famer offered his accuser at least $10 million in mediation before the lawsuit was filed.
Shannon Sharpe's willingness to pay is not an admission of anything that he did wrong. It was a willingness to pay for the protection of his family and himself.
Despite the graphic public allegations, Sharpe was talking sports on ESPN this morning, the sports network declining.
So what do I think? Is it possible that he did it without her consent? Yes. I think there needs to be conversations, because we can go back to Candy and Tiny with the Diddy situation. And I think they liked like a tweet or an Instagram post that said that, people who are just freaky are going to be vilified and stuff like that. Do I think that people who have more taboo type sexual interest are vilified? Yes. For every person who's okay with the OnlyFans model, it's a conservative person looking down on them. That's just the world we live in. If you want to be Candy and let your freak flag fly, let your freak flag fly, because they're not going to like you anyway. But I think that for that type of community, the ones that are into like bondage, the ones that are into like raise play and stuff like that, you need to get your shit together, because y'all might get sued too. You just never know. This girl might be telling truth, but some man or woman might not later. So if you like to choke a dude or you like to choke a girl, maybe have a safe word, maybe have something set up like paperwork that says what you're into, because let Shannon be your, I don't want to say that. I'm taking that word. I was about to say something ugly. I'm taking that back. I'm working on myself. I'm I'm working on myself. I'm not going to say that. We'll just say, let Shannon be your bad example. Let Shannon be your bad example. It also doesn't matter if you choked her 20 times and she loved it. If at 21, she was like, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to do it. You can't ease somebody into getting choked. You can't ease somebody into getting some backdoor action. If she said no, she only wants things to come out, not in, but you guys have been doing this tug of pull. Don't insert. It's really simple. There's not too many blurred lines. If you're going to do stuff that requires somebody to get tied up or hog tied or whatever the hell you want to do it, make sure there's like a consent word. Make sure there's a word like, what do they usually say? Like pineapples or something like that. It's not that difficult. Candy, Tiny. We all know that, you know, what did she call Portia? Like happily to acknowledge freak status. But just because you acknowledge freak status doesn't mean that you can't paint everybody with the same brush. Over there talking about Diddy being, you know, just vilified for being a freako. That's not a good look. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore. Shannon. Maybe, I don't know. Technically, they're not even saying it was a settlement. But I think that he specifically did not want to use the word settlement because it elicits thoughts of you were wrong. It's like saying I was wrong in this situation, so I'm paying to get out of it. I think that's why they're not using the word settlement. He took down his video on his social media where he had given his statement. This is the only thing he has left. My statement is found here, and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support. Do y'all think he's going to be able to still make all that money? Because he had a lot of stuff lined up, and this needed to go away, which is also why he was willing to pay her $10 million. It's amazing now that this girl is a multimillionaire. She doesn't have to do OnlyFans anymore, but maybe she likes it. She might like doing OnlyFans. You never know. Right. This is his original statement, but typically once you see a settlement, they take all this shit down. If the accuser had statements, all of that's supposed to go down. Any proof or evidence that you thought you were supposed to have is turned over or destroyed and all this kind of stuff. You're not the term that was used by Tony Busby was not settlement. So if the news is saying they use settlement, great. But the verbiage used by Tony Busby was not. Let's move on to this Trump shit. This is crazy. So the Wall Street Journal published this. I went ahead and paid to see exactly what was worth. I think it's like $10 billion that he's suing for. They published this yesterday? Jeffrey Epstein's friend sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, and Ghislaine was preparing a special gift to mark the occasion. I guess because there weren't any little girls around. She turned to Epstein's family and friends. One of them was Donald Trump. Maxwell collected letters from Trump and dozens of Epstein's other associates for a 2003 birthday album, according to the documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Pages from the leather-bound album, assembled before Epstein was first arrested in 2006, are among the documents examined by Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein Maxwell years ago. According to the people who have reviewed the pages, it's unclear if any of the pages are part of the Trump administration's recent review. The president's past relationship with Epstein is at a sensitive moment. The Justice Department documents, the so-called Epstein files, and who or what is in them are at the center of a storm consuming the Trump administration. On Wednesday, after angry comments about how the files are a hoax created by Democrats, President Trump lashed out at his own supporters for refusing to let the matter go. The letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is squigglied, Donald, below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. Now, y'all, I did not read this. Oh yeah, definitely hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be better, be another wonderful secret." What? The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." In an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. "This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story," he said. I never wrote a picture in my life." What is writing a picture? I'm not even being funny. I never wrote a picture in my life. What? Trump is somewhere.
Come on, none of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women, he said. It's not my language. It's not my words. He told the Journal he was preparing to file a lawsuit if it published an article. "I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else." Allegations that Epstein had been sexually abusing girls became public in 2006, and he was arrested that year. Epstein died in 2019 in jail after he was arrested a second time and charged with sex trafficking conspiracy. Justice Department officials didn't respond to requests for comment or address questions about whether the Trump page and other pages of the birthday album were a part of the agency's recent documents review. The FBI declined to comment. The existence of the album and the contents of the birthday letters hasn't previously been reported. The album had poems, photos, and greetings from business people, academics, Epstein's former girlfriends, and childhood pals, according to the documents reviewed by the Journal and people familiar with them. I will say this much. Why not name all of them? If you have, I mean, of course, Trump is going to be the biggest name, but if you have other prominent people, why not just name them? Just a thought. Kim says he drew the letter and wrote the picture. Oh, I stand corrected. See, I'm just reading this with y'all. Among those who submitted letters were billionaire Leslie Wexner and attorney Alan Dershowitz. The album also contained a letter from a now deceased Harvard economist, one of Epstein's report cards from Mark Twain Junior High School in Brooklyn, and a note from a former assistant that included an acrostic with Epstein's name, "Jeffrey, oh Jeffrey, everyone loves you. Fun in the sun. Fun just for fun. Remember, don't forget me soon. Epstein, you rock. You are the best." Is this how people treat you when you're a billionaire? Epstein was Wexner's money manager at the time. The longtime leader of Victoria's Secret wrote a short message that said, "I wanted to get you what you want, so here it is." After the text was a line drawing of what appeared to be a woman's breast. Wexner declined to comment through a spokesperson. Wexner's spokesman previously told the Journal that the retail mogul severed all ties with Epstein in 2007 and never spoke with him again. Dershowitz's letter included a mock-up of a Vanity Unfair magazine cover with the mock headlines such as, "Who was Jack the Ripper? Was it Jeffrey Epstein?" He joked that he had convinced the magazine to change the focus of an article from Epstein to Bill Clinton. Dershowitz, who represented Epstein after his first arrest, said, "It's been a long time and I don't recall the content of what I may have written." So let's look this up really quick. Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer who was active in and around the impoverished Whitechapel district of London in 1888. So you're likening him to a serial killer. Dershowitz, you're likening him to a serial killer. We haven't even gotten into how a man who lied to get a job at a school, who was canoodling with the young girls at the school, the most prominent school, or one of the most prominent schools in America, how you got that job, and then how you somehow became a financier and a billionaire. These are some jumps. Let's continue. The book was put together by a New York City bookbinder, Herbert Wheats, according to the people who were involved in the process. Wheats, who died in 2020, listed Epstein as a client on his website in 2003. It isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. What is this? Telling Jeffrey Epstein something about a wonderful secret is crazy. Okay. Apparently, my producer / not producer says the word enigma is an anagram for gamine, which means naughty girl or female street urchin. I already read the hair part. Say what now? This line right here. Donald, enigmas never changed. Have you noticed that? So if we switch these words around, it would say naughty girls never change. Have you noticed that? Sometimes I think I might owe my producer another pizza. Oh, wait, I didn't buy the pizza. I take that back. Wow. Okay. Let's get back to it. When he turned 50, Epstein was already wealthy from managing Wexner's fortune and was socializing with Trump, Clinton, and other powerful people. He often entertained at his Manhattan townhouse, Palm Beach, Florida home, and private Caribbean island. A spokesman for Clinton referred to a 2019 statement that former president had cut off ties more than a decade before Epstein's second arrest and didn't know about Epstein's alleged crimes. You didn't have any access to the Secret Service? Okay. You didn't know anything about... A spokesperson for Clinton referred to a 2019 statement that former president had cut off ties more than a decade before Epstein's second arrest and didn't know about Epstein's alleged crimes. So let me remind you, Epstein's first arrest. especially after prosecutors agreed to a lenient plea deal that spared him from serious prison time. So that was 2006. Epstein was eventually arrested again, but blah, blah, blah. So March 5th, police in Palm Beach, Florida began investigating Epstein after the family of a 14-year-old girl reports she was taken advantage of at his mansion. Multiple underage girls, many of them high school students, would later tell police that Epstein hired them to give sexual massages. 2006, Palm Beach police office officials signed paperwork to charge Epstein with multiple counts of unlawful sex with a minor, but the county's top prosecutor, state attorney Barry Krischer, takes the unusual step of sending the case to a grand jury. Epstein is arrested after a grand jury indicts him on a single count of soliciting prostitution. The relatively minor charge draws almost immediate attention from critics, including Palm Beach police leaders, who assail Krischer publicly and accuse him of giving Epstein special treatment. The FBI begins an investigation. 2007, federal prosecutors prepare an indictment against Epstein, but for a year, the money manager's lawyers engage in talks with the U.S. attorney in Miami, Alexander Acosta, about a plea bargain that would allow Epstein to avoid federal prosecution. Epstein's lawyers decry his accusers as unreliable witnesses, the children who would have just made up that they were taken advantage of in this mansion. Epstein pleads guilty to state charges, one count of soliciting prostitution and one count of soliciting prostitution from somebody under the age of 18. He is sentenced to 18 months in jail. Under a secret arrangement, the U.S. Attorney's Office agrees not to prosecute Epstein for federal crimes. Epstein serves most of his sentence in a work release program because you're not a threat to the public if you have billions of dollars and like little girls. You couldn't be a threat to the public, and you're worth billions, so we need you out so you can go to work. Because that's how that works. Let's get back to this article that I paid for. Let me see. Epstein and Trump spent time together in the 1990s and early 2000s and were photographed at social events, including with Maxwell and Melania Trump. A 1992 tape from the NBC archive shows Trump partying with Epstein at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump is seen pulling a woman toward him and patting her behind. Trump, along with others, including Clinton, also appeared several times on flight logs for Epstein's private jet. A 2002 New York Magazine profile of Epstein quoted Trump, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy," Trump said. "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life." Now, we've all heard that quote before. Both men said that they subsequently had a falling out. Trump has said that their friendship ended before Epstein pleaded guilty to procuring a minor for prostitution in 2008, served time in a Florida jail, and registered as a sex offender. When Epstein was arrested again in 2019, Trump said he hadn't talked to Epstein for about 15 years. "I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him," Trump said in the Oval Office. "I was not a fan of his, that I can tell you." Trump's spokesperson told the Journal in 2023 that Trump had banned Epstein from his Mar-a-Lago club at some point in the past, without elaborating. The FBI's Epstein files. Epstein's associations with Trump and many powerful people have been well documented. There remain questions about what the FBI possesses about Epstein and his well-connected friends. In 2019, the FBI confiscated evidence from Epstein's properties in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New York. Earlier this week, after the Journal sought comment from the president about the letter, Trump told reporters at the White House that he believes some Epstein files were made up by former presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden and former FBI Director James Comey. Just a quick question. Why would Barack be commenting? Barack's second term ended way before Epstein was arrested the second time in 2019. So I don't know, whatever. He said that releasing any more Epstein files would be up to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Allegations that bureaucrats covered up Epstein's connections with participants in his trafficking scheme were fanned by people now in top roles in the Trump administration, including FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy, Dan Bongino. In 2024, Trump was asked in a Fox News interview whether he would release Epstein case files. The Republican presidential candidate initially responded, "Yeah, I would. but he also expressed some reservations. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because it's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world, but I think I would. What would be the phony stuff? Let's see. So, okay, so this is a real question. Trump was president in 2019, so this would be your FBI. What phony stuff would your FBI have in this case file? This is your FBI. Hold on. Hold on, let me see. Mm-mm. Okay, sorry. Producer talk. Where were we? Trump was asked in the Fox News, blah, 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 blah. As soon after she was confirmed as Attorney General, Bondi said she was preparing to release new Epstein files. In late February, Bondi announced the release of phase 1 of the documents, but the materials contain few new revelations, drawing criticism from right-wing influencers. I guess that's Candace Owens. Bondi initially blamed the FBI's New York office for withholding information and promised to release the remaining documents after redacting the victims' names. Patel also said there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. They tasked hundreds of FBI employees to review the materials and prepare them for release. The issue took on new life in June when Elon Musk, amid a public feud with Trump, alleged that the FBI was withholding documents from the Epstein case because Trump was in the files. The truth will come out, Musk wrote on X. He later deleted the message and said he regretted some of his comments. On July 7th, the Justice Department backtracked on Bondi's pledge to release more Epstein files. The Justice Department said that after an exhaustive review, it had found no incriminating client list or additional documents that warrant public disclosure. Now, we know, and I talked about this a little bit, we know that there were high-profile people who also had carnal desires for those little girls, including a prince. I just don't think, like, even if there's not some handwritten list, you are the FBI. You have access to this man's text messages between him and Ghislaine or whatever the hell her name is. You mean to tell me that there was not one time that you said the prince wanted a redhead or the girl can't have any hair or whatever you wanted with the particular girl? You can't tell me that you just had girls set up for these very powerful people and nobody had any specific requests. This was like a den of hell itself, with little girls being ushered to this island, used one time, and put back in the world like nothing ever happened. You cannot tell me that there are not some text threads or something where she was asking him what he wanted and what he wanted for his friends. You cannot tell me that that does not exist somewhere. But I think that we have this mindset that some of these old hoes like Epstein are too big to fail. You cannot tell me that there's not something. If you are flying from Timbuktu or London or wherever the F you're flying from to partake in whatever Jeffrey has going, you are going to have a specific requirement. You are going to say these things to somebody to ensure that your needs are met when you get to the whole island. Doesn't even make sense. So yes, there might not be a specific listing, but I do feel like somebody is covering something up. And if you know, even if you take Trump out of the equation and all this, there are a lot of very wealthy people who was in and around this man's orbit, and all of them have gotten off scot-free. Nobody else but Jeffrey was into the young girls. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. But okay. Get them all. I just get F all these people up. I'm so tired of the rich people being able to get away with everything because they know somebody or they have enough money to hire the best attorneys to get themselves out of the situation. The system failed these girls when you allowed a known sexual predator on work release who continued for another 2019, he was let out in 2007. So for another 12 years, he was allowed to spread his hoish ways all up and down the East Coast and the Virgin Islands. Because somebody decided that he was too rich to fail. It's really disgusting, to be honest with you. Let me see. The Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee demanded this week that the Republican chairman, Jim Jordan, hold hearings on the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files and, if necessary, subpoena Bondi, Patel, and Bongino. At a cabinet meeting on July 8th, Trump criticized a reporter for asking about Epstein. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That's unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time? That same day, Musk wrote on X, how can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? Now, let me see. I want to show you guys this. Okay, so this also came out. FBI agents were told to flag any Epstein records that mention Trump. FBI agents assigned this year to review investigative files in the criminal case against notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were instructed to flag any documents that mention President Trump, Senator Richard Durbin said Friday. Durbin's claim came in letters the Illinois Democrats sent to the Justice Department and FBI asking them to explain discrepancies between past statements about a promised release of the Epstein files and findings from July 7th Justice Department memo, which said no such release would happen. Durbin's letters, addressed to Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, add to the pressure on the Trump administration over Bondi's decision to withhold from the public evidence about Epstein despite her past promises. Durbin is the ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which has oversight over the Justice Department and the FBI, who made the decision to reassign hundreds of New York field office personnel to this March review of Epstein-related records, Durbin asked in his letter. And why were personnel told to flag records in which President Trump was mentioned? An FBI spokesperson told CNBC in an email the FBI has no comment when asked about Durbin's letter. That's at least something to make you go, blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Teresa says, Alexa, play Bust. Oh, we did that one. Don't worry about yourself. Hit the like button. It's a free way to support the channel. Yeah, we got almost 2,000 in the chat. I'm sure we don't even have 1,000 likes. Definitely hit that like button. Ray, thank you so much for becoming a new member. And Blaze the Chocolate Doodle says, I know y'all hate Trump. However, this looks like another media lie. Now, another media will get sued and settle out of court like ABC and CBS, sued for lies. Do I think this looks like another media lie? I do know that, what was that guy's name? He's a really big reporter for ABC. Blaze, hold that thought because we have two things to discuss. Thank you for reminding me. Trump did sue somebody successfully, and I think it was like either 10 or 20 million. Sues and wins for defamation. Oh, okay, let me see. Okay, here we go. ABC. ABC News settles defamation suit with Trump for $15 million. Blah, blah, blah. It was George Stephanopoulos. What was the statement? What did he say? What made him lose? Oh, I want to see exactly what he said. Trump filed the suit in Florida federal court earlier this year, arguing that Stephanopoulos and ABC News defamed him when the anchor said 10 times during a contentious on-air interview with South Carolina GOP Representative Nancy Mace in March that the jury found Trump had R-worded E. Jean. Carroll alleged that Trump had R-worded her in a department store in the mid-1990s and that he defamed her when he denied her claim. Trump has denied all wrongdoing towards Carroll. In 2023, a jury found that Trump sexually abused Carroll, sufficient to hold him liable for battery, though it did not find that Carroll proved he R-worded her. The jury awarded Carroll $5 million for battery and defamation. In January, Carroll was awarded an additional $83 million in damages for defamatory statements made by Trump that disparaged her and denied her R-word allegations. So he did win this. However, he just lost one too. Let me see. He lost one. I think, was it like today? Let me see. Okay, this is breaking news. A federal judge in Manhattan has dismissed a lawsuit brought by President Donald Trump against journalist Bob Woodward and a publishing house over the release of interview recordings from his first term in office. So he lost to E. Jean Carroll for defamation. He won against ABC because they used the R word 10 times in an interview. He lost to Bob Woodward, and now he is filing a suit against the Wall Street Journal and its owner. But get this, I looked it up and it's here, but it's not here. Usually we could look and find the complaint, right? We can't see the complaint. I don't know if it's too early, but people have the complaint. So I don't know if Trump or the people he is suing is releasing that complaint, but people have eyes on it. It's not in Pacer. So that's kind of strange to me. But he's winning some and he's losing others. So we're going to monitor this. All of it seems extremely strange to me. And now I'm interested. So you guys can put in the chat, do you think that there's a cover up at the highest level? Or do you think that there really is no secret client list and the FBI is ready to just put a pin on this and they're doing their job? I'm thinking there's no reason for this to be shrouded in mystery anymore. If there are large names on that list, go ahead and put them out. What would be the point of having any protections for any person, large, small, celebrity, super rich, if they have a desire for children? What's the point of that? If the American people as a whole, bipartisan, are saying we need to see the specifics here to ensure, just ensure that we can have belief in these systems like the FBI, which you're supposed to feel are there to protect you. Then why not release it? Ray says, Trump is creating a distraction in Los Angeles. He is burning LA down to distract us from this. Is LA on fire? Is LA on fire? Okay, so LA is not on fire, y'all. I don't see that LA is on fire. And just as another point, right now, Trump is representing himself against Murdoch. I don't know how that's gonna work. What? What? Let's see Rupert Murdoch's net worth. $24 billion. This man is worth. I wouldn't even be surprised if. Okay, so when I was at the Diddy trial, day one, a major attorney popped in to argue that the sex tapes and some of the things that are redacted should be shown to members of the press. I wouldn't be surprised if Murdoch paid for that attorney to go and argue that. The judge did not allow members of the press to see the sex tapes, but the fact that major publications spent the time to hire an attorney in order to get their reporters the ability to see that was kind of crazy to me. But anyway, Murdoch is worth $24 billion. Let's look at who wrote this. Let's look really quick at who wrote this article. Blah, 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 blah. Khadijah Savdir. I mean, the Wall Street Journal is not like you're looking at like page 6, right? Like these are not, this is not one of those like salacious rags. Khadijah Savdir is an enterprise reporter in the Wall Street Journal's New York office, where she's worked for more than a decade. She has written about a whole range of issues, including sexual misconduct, corporate governance, workplace discrimination, mental health, and consumer safety. I'm going to do a little bit more research on her, but I'm not seeing any scandals involving her. I'm not seeing where people are saying that she skews in any one direction. Let's see. The only scandal that's popping up is reporters Khadijah Savdir and Joe Palazzolo detailed a letter Trump purportedly wrote that accompanied a body drawing of a naked woman he purportedly drew and sent to Epstein for the financier's 50th birthday. So this is the only scandal that she has so far. We'll see. Murdoch owns 39% of Fox News too. Oh, wow. Okay, guys, we're going to keep pulling at some of these threads. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. This class of Azul has kicked my butt. So, Oh, hold on. CC Zelderman says they settled due to mergers related to TV rights that the government issues. The merger was worth billions for CBS, so they settled just from a financial standpoint. Trump isn't winning court cases. Well, there you go. Thank you for that. Ray says they are going to go martial law in LA off immigrants. Is that what you meant by LA was on fire? Is that what you meant? Okay, guys. You guys have a good night. I'm definitely gonna see you tomorrow. Like the video on your way out and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Have a good one.